Hey folks, it's Frithgar here, how you doing? Welcome back to Farming Simulator 19 here on Ravenport. We are going to carry straight on from where we left off in the last episode, so let's get to it. Kind of one thing that I have done a lot of in my series is that I've looked at maps that are less popular, less well known, and that's another thing I got in feedback from last week was, or I've had in feedback over the last few weeks now actually, is that most of you really like the fact that I don't play the well-known maps. Some of you have said it would be nice to see my take on some of these well-known maps, but the overwhelming majority of comments and feedback that I've got is not that you don't want to see those maps, it's just that everybody's doing those maps and you don't need to see my version of it, because enough of you are familiar with my style of gameplay that it's not really going to be a huge amount of difference with it. It's just going over a map that's already been gone over so many times by a lot of people. What you'd actually prefer is to see something completely new and completely different, and me continue with this idea that I've had for quite a long time in looking at maps that are less well known. So that is most likely what I would do. I may not, I may just go, I may pick out a map that is available on ModHub. I do frequently like to use maps that are available on ModHub purely because of, you know what I'm going to do? You know what I'm going to do? I know that, you know, it's a little bit cheaty, but we'll do it anyway. I don't know how well it works. I don't know, I can't remember now if it's still, removes all of the fuel. We'll reset that one like that. There, just be a little bit faster. No, it doesn't remove all the fuel. That's good. Right. But yeah, a lot of people sort of saying about the idea of the me using the small maps and well, not small maps, but me using maps that are less well known. And a lot of you really like that, and that's something that you come here for to see the things that you don't get to see so much elsewhere. So me playing a really popular and well-known map, that's not me doing something that you don't get to see elsewhere. So that I'm taking on board, and I will be generally avoiding the big well-known maps. I have done in the past, and so that's a policy that I will continue to follow. I will continue to avoid the big well-known maps, purely because that's what you all seem to want me to do. So yeah, I'm quite happy to do that. I was talking seriously about this new one from Oxygen David, mainly because, well, only because there were enough comments coming through, people asking me to play it, that I thought that maybe this is what people wanted. But when I started talking seriously about it, I got a lot of comments from people saying, please don't. Right, yes, you know, it would be interesting to see, but everybody's doing that. Everybody is already doing the, everybody's already doing that map, right? There's hundreds, if not thousands of hours of gameplay on that map already on YouTube, despite the fact the map hasn't been out all that long. So please don't add to the overpopulation of videos about that map. Go and find a different map. And I was surprised at just how much feedback I got along those lines. And it was the same on the Discord channel as well. If you're not a member of the Discord, there is a link in the description down below to another video, where you can then find a link in the description of that video that's got an actual invite for the Discord. I've done it like that so that I've only got to go and change one should I ever need to change it, and I don't have to go and change hundreds and hundreds of them. So yeah, there is a link for the Discord in the description down below. If you would like to join our Discord, then please do. Please come and join. You will be able to give opinions. There is ways for you to, if you become active on the Discord, you can earn your way into the Great Book of Names if you haven't done so already. And you can give plenty of feedback on there, and just generally have a chat and give your opinions. And I've had a lot of feedback on there as well about big maps and what people, well, I say big map, well-known maps, and what people think of well-known maps. Right. I pressed the appropriate buttons. Oh, I know why. I know why. I've got the wrong one selected. I need that one selected so that I can lower it down. There. For some reason, it didn't want to lower down. It started, but it wouldn't lower down. There we go. We're now planting wheat. And we're planting a very, very wide strip of wheat. Many, many meters wide. So we will do this field here. And then when we've done this field here, we will go and we will do that new field up over there. I'm not using the GPS mod in this playthrough. Some people have said, why don't I start using Follow Me and GPS on here? Because well, see, this is the thing. I've been using a couple of Stevie mods, but generally I am trying to do this using the base game stuff. And I was talking about using Stevie mods a lot more in the future because I thought people would want to see me doing that and because I thought it would speed up. But no, a lot of you still want me to stick with as much base game stuff as possible before I start trying to mix it up with too many mods. And it's the same with control mods. I class like GPS and the course play and stuff like that as sort of game control mods. I don't know what anybody else would refer to them as, sort of maybe quality of life sort of type things. But yeah, control. It's helping to control the game, isn't it? And I wanted to avoid using any of those in this series, just doing it how the base game presents with the base game hired help, that sort of thing. And then we'll start having a look at the others in future series. I've already been introduced to the GPS mod in the live stream. This week's live stream will actually, by this point, you may be looking at Monday's video by now. I don't actually know because of the way I do my recording. This could be, you could be watching this either on Wednesday or on Monday. I think we're on Monday now. I think we've reached Monday. Happy Monday, everybody, by the way. If we haven't, then the live stream is yet to happen, and we're doing a multiplayer live stream. So there we go. If it's Monday, then you know that we did a multiplayer live stream, and I'm sure it went exceptionally well, and it was wonderful, and everybody had loads of fun. I've got no idea at the moment. As far as I know, we will be going back to... well, here's the thing. Well, anybody that doesn't watch the live stream, I can give you out this information, and you may not know about this yet. Anybody that does watch the live stream, well, I've talked about this in the live stream. From this point on, the moderators who sort of arrange everything for the live stream, and they set everything up, they keep the server running in the background, and they do all of this work. They have said that they are now prepared to do the multiplayer live stream every 2 weeks, which is whenever I do Farming Simulator live stream, it will now be multiplayer live stream. If you would like to join in with the live stream, if you'd like to be on the server and you'd like to join in and take part in any of them, it is 8 PM until 10 PM GMT. Well, it's actually British summertime, which is GMT plus 1. So we are, it's something like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning if you live in Australia. It's about 7 or 8 o'clock in the morning if you live in New Zealand, and it's middle to late afternoon if you live over in the States and Canada. And then sort of progressing on a little bit later than that. So it's not always convenient for everybody, and I will at some point do a later stream, although I don't know when I will be able to do that, and it won't be very regular, but I will do a later stream at some point for the people that live not in Europe and sort of our European time zone here, to make it a little bit more convenient, to give you a better shot at being able to join in with the live stream. At the moment, it is limited to anybody who is in the Great Book of Names. You can get into the Great Book of Names by supporting me financially, or you can get in there by becoming an active member of the community, either here on YouTube, answering comments and going above and beyond, or on the Discord. And we have a really good way of keeping track of people on the Discord. There's a lot of people. I've got like 160 names in the book now, so there's quite a lot of people have earned their way in. And a good chunk of those have not got in there by supporting me financially. That is probably the quickest and easiest way to do it. But for those of you that don't have financial means to be able to do that, there is still other ways for you to be able to get into the book. And that is something that I said right at the very beginning of my entire YouTube career. I will never, at any point, limit people to... limit accessibility on my channel behind a paywall. Never will do that, and I'm never planning to do that either. If there's something for the community that's... Now, I'm actually thinking we should do twice around on this, because of how big a turning circle this one requires. It doesn't sort of do backing up, does it? So we're going to need to go twice around the field with this in order to be able to give this sort of room to be able to do all the turning. It shouldn't take too... I'll tell you what, by the time we've done twice round on this field, we'd have just about finished the whole thing anyway. So, yeah, it's... If there's a way to get something on this channel via financial means, then there... Well, and I don't say like merchandise, stuff like that. You know, obviously that costs what it costs. I can't really do anything about that. But I'm not going to release videos exclusively for people who've paid money. I'm not going to give rewards exclusively for people who've paid money. I will release videos and I will give rewards exclusively to people who have gone above and beyond and they've earned themselves something special, which is what the Great Book of Names is. You've gone above and beyond and you've earned yourself something special, and you've earned a place in the Great Book of Names. And so those people in the Great Book of Names, I have a channel on the Discord where occasionally I want a new name for a series, or I'm looking for a new game to play, or I'm looking for a new map or ideas for something. And that's where I go to first. I go and I post it on there, and that is only viewable and only accessible to people in the Great Book of Names. So you do get exclusive access to some things on the channel if you're in the Great Book of Names. But that's one thing that I will never ever do, is limit access to that book to people who've got money. Right? You will be able to find a way. There will be a way to get into the book without having to pay out money. And that's something that is very important to me personally. I don't want to block it for only people who are fortunate enough to have the financial means. Only because I know what it's like to look at these things and know immediately if it says, if you pay this, you can join, and you can join in the exclusive club. I know exactly what it's like to see that and know that that is something I will never ever be able to be a part of. Right? When I was growing up, I knew every single time I seen something like that, that was never something that I would be able to experience. It was never something that I would be able to join in. I would never be able to be a part of it if it was locked behind a paywall. And I didn't like it. It was just like an accepted thing of my childhood, and you know, it was just the way it was. But I still didn't particularly like it, and I still used to... It used to put me off things, and it's one of those things that you kind of accept, but at the same time, you still don't like it. And I would naturally gravitate towards things that would allow the opportunity to earn something like that for free as well. And I'm not just giving it all away. I'm not just saying, oh yeah, you want to, well, here you go. You do have to earn a place in the Great Book of Names. You have to go above and beyond with the community. You have to do something more than just say, hello, how are you, on every video. I read the comments. I don't always respond to the comments. You know, sometimes I'll go a whole week without being able to do little more than just like put a heart on a comment here and there, because I just don't have the time to do it. But I do watch the comments. I do keep an eye on everything that's going on the channel, and I do notice the people that pop up very regularly offering advice and helpful tips, and generally helping out other people as well with the videos and so on. It's not always easy to see what's going on and see replies and stuff that are being made here and there on a channel because of how YouTube does sort of limit us to being able to see replies, but I do see a lot of what goes on, and I see any fresh comments that come up as well, and I pay attention to all of these. I do. I pay very close attention to it, and every now and then I pick up a person who's been doing a lot and has been doing a lot of research for things in the background and is generally giving helpful comments and not being unpleasant to everybody around them, not answering comments in a really horrible way, and I'll add their name into the book. I'll pen them in. And yes, I do have the website as well, and there is the list on the website. Website list is not up to date. I think it's been about 2 months since I updated the list on the website. I'm really sorry to anybody that's been added since then, but yeah, it's unfortunately it's not very high on my priority list. I got a lot of other things that I do as well, so that one's not massively high on the old priority list. But I will get to it. I will eventually get to updating the website as well, and so that everybody can see their names. If you join the Discord, you also get your name in a special colour if you're in a Great Book of Names, so that everybody knows that you've already earned your way into the book. And yeah, I mean, that's not the main reason for joining Discord. I'd say the main reason for joining Discord is to join in with the chat and speak to people. There's friends to be made on there, and I go on there most weekdays, first thing in the morning and later in the evening while I'm doing a bit of my editing and stuff like that. I will pop on. Some days I'm on there for a chat for an hour or two. Other days it's simply a quick sort of drive-by and say hello. I might sometimes go on at the weekend. I do try to avoid answering comments, and I still read comments on YouTube, by the way, at the weekends, but I do try to avoid answering any comments at the weekend, as well as try to avoid going on Discord at all at the weekend, and that's purely so I get to spend time with my family, and, you know, have a bit of time at home and with, away from YouTube. I try to separate the two out a little bit, and it is quite important that I do that. It helps to maintain my sanity, and it also helps to keep me on the level a little bit. You know, if I get too caught up in doing this all the time, it tends to mess with me a bit, and yeah, I think quality starts to dip a little bit. So I do try to completely stay away from it at the weekend and have as little to do with my computer as possible. I still check to make sure things are working, and it's a good job I do, because like on Saturday afternoon, for some reason the dates were wrong on the videos. So the Satisfactory video and the daily Factorio video that went up on Saturday afternoon, they were all late. I ended up manually pushing them through for release at like 9 o'clock in the evening my time, or a little bit before then, something like that. But I released them both at the same time. So yes, I do keep an eye on it. I just am not able to act on it quite as quickly as I would otherwise like. We've nearly finished this field now. I will stop rabbiting on about non-farming stuff. But yeah, why did I even start on that big long talk about Discord and joining? And oh yes, you know, people are suggesting on the Discord channel. I do have, like, in the channel that's exclusive for people in the Great Book of Names, I'm getting a few suggestions on there about what maps I should go and look at. I've had a few interesting maps to look at on there as well, and I will definitely be going and checking out some of those. Those suggestions do take priority. I will say that. Those suggestions, the ones that come from people in the Book of Names, they do take priority as far as I'm concerned. I'm not necessarily going to definitely pick one of those. I'm not going to say, oh yeah, just because it's in there, I'm not going to pick any other one at all. And I'm going to completely ignore any suggestion that is made by someone who's not in the Book of Names. But the names, the whole point of the Book of Names is that it gives you a little bit more access to me and a little bit more privilege over the rest of the channel. It's my way of saying thank you to you for what you've done for me. Whether you've gone above and beyond and done a whole load of extra stuff for me personally and for the community at large, or you've made a financial contribution, both of which are equally good, you know, equally useful to me personally. You know, obviously financial contribution, that helps keep me going. That helps keep the videos going and stuff like that. And that's what we all want. We definitely want the videos to keep going. If... Yeah, I really don't want to get caught up on that train, do I? Not with this thing. We got this big long thing right here. We definitely don't want all of this wrapped around that train. But yeah, the whole financial contribution it's absolutely amazing, and it does keep me going. That makes a big part of it. But equally, anybody that is in the Book of Names, they have done something that has been a benefit for the channel. And that's kind of, I think that's probably the best way of describing it. Whatever you've done, whatever reason you earned your way into the book, it was of a benefit to the channel as a whole, a benefit to our community as a whole, and for that reason you are in the book. So that's how I look at it. And so this exclusive access that you've got, being able to make suggestions for maps, games, series titles, and there's a whole load of little things that I come along and I will ask on that channel. It's all good. It's all useful stuff, and I do put those. I take those suggestions first. I will look at those suggestions. So map suggestions. I will look at the map suggestions from people in the Great Book of Names on the Discords, and I will look down through those, and I will prioritize those over others. If after I've looked through those, I still can't find one that I think would be absolutely amazing, if I don't find one that makes me personally go, yeah, I really love that, then I start looking at suggestions from a load of other people. But if I get like a couple of suggestions from people in YouTube or just on Discord in general, and I think, yeah, you know, that map is really, really good. I really like that. And I also get a suggestion from someone from the Great Book of Names, and I look at that one and I think, yeah, that's actually really good. I like that, and I can't really decide between the two. The deciding factor will be the fact that the person who, you know, who are the people that suggested it. If I'm looking at two maps, I'm thinking, oh, I'm not really sure which of these I like them both, I'll look at who suggested it. And if one of those people is in the Great Book of Names, then that's the map that I will pick. And that's how I look at it. So, you know, there is some preferential treatment there. And if you would like to get that preferential treatment, then, you know, there's well, I've been talking about that for ages now, so I'll stop talking about that. But you know all about it now. You know how you can do it, and it's entirely up to you. I'm going to do just once around on this field, I think. I don't think we need to do more than that, and I'm hoping that just once around is going to be enough to allow us to then leave the hired help going. I will do, yeah, I was even thinking I might not bother going across the top, but I will go across the top here as well. And we'll go all the way round this field just once, and then we'll put the hired help going, and we'll see if it will actually do it. I'm hoping it will. I'm hoping the hired help will then just take over. Our next task, we need to, once I leave the hired help going with this one, we'll go and get the fertilizer spreader, and we'll start putting fertilizer over on the other field over there. Actually, no, we can't. We're putting fertilizer on it right... Yeah, I forgot about that. We can't put fertilizer on it just yet. We can put fertilizer on our small field down the bottom, and we could also... Well, we can't put any more fertilizer anywhere. We need to wait until the morning once we've had a growth stage. Once we've had a growth stage, then we can go and put a bit of fertilizer on these up here. Until then... More chickens. We could just go and build some more chicken pens. We could put in another couple of those while we wait for this crop to grow. And then we can see. I know that I'm planting wheat up here. I'm not planning on baling it up, though. I'm gonna chop the straw like I did with the oats Right, we've got enough straw, and I don't really want to spend ages and ages chopping straw, the baling straw either. It's just gonna take too long, and we will eventually have some. I wonder if it's even possible to reverse these things. I'm looking at that. That's not really reversing properly there at all, is it? We'll come round there like that, and I'll drop you in here, and we'll just carry on there. I'll go in a nice straight line here on this side, in theory. Sort of a straight line. Yeah, it's a straight line down to there, and then we'll go along that angled bit over there, and we'll do... There will be a little bit extra along here. I'm thinking possibly an extra line just along the bottom end of the field, and then we'll start it. I'm not quite sure how I'm going to do this, because I don't want it turning around on the train track. I know that it doesn't turn around on the train track, but I kind of want it to avoid turning on the train track as much as possible. Although it's only this little bit at this end, so I don't think we need to worry about it too much. And bring it up to here, and then I might have to... No, I'm just going to do it like this. I'm just going to do it like this. A little bit messy, admittedly. But we'll just come out like that. Straight across. And then we can put the hired help going once we get to the other side of the field. And he will just work up and down. Because it's still a very big field. This field, once we plough... We'll plough these together here. We'll do field 11 plus the other two up there. We'll plough them together. And join them and make one massive, great big field. And then we got field 8 as well, which we'll just leave as field 8. So I'm thinking by the time we do this, and we'll take a harvest off of this field and that field over there. So there's one little bit that will be done. And then, right, I'll bring you down this way. I'm going to run it up just through the middle like this. Just like that until I reach the point where I want to turn. And then we'll put the hired help going, because I don't want it to go up and down that way. I want it to go up and down this way, the same way the combine went. I know it seems a bit odd, me doing half of it. I've switched off half of it with my control panel in the cab. That's what I've done. I've just switched off half of it. Very clever like that. I haven't, actually. But let's not tell anybody that. Yeah, we'll harvest this field and the other big field behind us, plus the small field down the bottom. And then... Right, I press H now, and it should get to the end there. Yep. And he should now turn. How much space is he going to need? Doesn't need that much space to turn. No, that's actually pretty good. Right, he doesn't need masses of space. And then he gets up to there, and he lowers down, because what it used to do is it used to go on a little bit too far on the turn in FS17, and so you'd have these little bits missing at the end of the rows. And it was enough to bug me, but not enough to make me go back over the whole thing and, like, do another line up through, because the seed drill is really slow, and you'd normally use this on a very, very big field. So, yeah, I knew that it was missing, but it wasn't enough to make me go back over and tidy it up. Now, how well is he going to cope with this little turn right here? I've been doing a lot of seed drilling for the last episode or two, so we will be stopping it. Well, there we go, folks. I'm afraid that's it. We've run out of time, which means that we need to head on home. So if you've enjoyed this episode, then please hit down below and give us a like, and if you really enjoyed it, then please tell your friends all about me. Get them to come and watch as well. That would be awesome. And until next time, thank you very much for watching. This is Frithgar. Goodbye, and see you later.